My name is Subba Gangi, currently a professor in the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. So I have started my career in 2010 in Indian Institute of Science. So while doing my postdoc at University of Pennsylvania in a Mickey Mouse lab, where I met Professor Graça, which is group leader at IFCPAR, where we collaborated. Collaboration was initiated in the US itself. When I moved back to India, so the CEFIPRA is the one grant which brought us together, continue the collaboration from what we initiated in 2004 and continue till today in either of the form of an exchange of students, not only keep moving our projects in a parallel way to achieve the goals what we have proposed for it. Plus, in addition to that, we also have a scientific other activities in terms of her visits to our campus will make much more strengthen the students of IISc. Second, we also my students visit their lab to get an advanced learning on electron microscopy. These two opportunities made our collaboration much more strengthened and going to be strengthened much more in the further years. As we move back to India as a young investigator to learn certain things on the bench as a cell biology definitely requires advances in cell biology, especially in the microscopy, where you require additional evidences to create or to learn much more visually by electron microscopy is the best technique, which I know it from Graça's lab. So as soon as I contacted her as a collaborative project, she proposed to initiate a project under the bilateral program called CEFIPRA that leads us much more strengthen our lab interactions with her in 2013, and the project was immediately sanctioned with our proposal, and the proposal results in a multiple publications. In addition to that, exchange of students between the labs, especially my master's trained students was taken as a graduate program in our lab. Then my first PhD students also taken as a postdoc in our lab. Currently, we continued our collaboration as my postdoc, Mr. Mahanti. Now, she's currently carrying out her work in her lab. A long way to go. So, as a part of bilateral collaboration, we have a mutual interest in understanding the intracellular organelles called recycling endosomes. These recycling endosomes are borrowed from a bigger endosome called sorting endosome. The mechanism of their formation was not known. So this initiated us the idea of how a membrane tubule, which is generated from a vesicle, was an important question for us. Both labs are interested in understanding this process. In doing this process, my laboratory was much more focused on a small GTPases which occurs in the cytosol. They will be recruited back onto the membrane and then carry out its function on the membrane. So we have, in collaboration with Graça's lab, we have shown two wrapped GTPases, which is RAP4 and RAP22, which productively functions at the membrane, which generates the final product as a recycling endosomes, which carries the cargo for the maturation of the melanosome, or it also carries the cargo to the cell surface to transport the large number of molecules for function at cell surface. So our collaboration has ended up with not only the in terms of publications, we continued our collaboration in terms of the currently we are working on an organelle contact. Especially we are trying to understand the skin cells in which the top layers of the skin cells, the organelles are altered. So these alteration organelles are beneficial for the skin homeostasis. We observed in collaboration with Graça's lab. So the Golgi, which is a basic organelle, has a potential for in contact with a lysosome, a degrading organelle in the cell. This interaction has a value in transport of the cargo in a faster way, predicting that the maturation of one organelle from a pre-existing organelle will be faster if they communicate each other or contact each other. These studies are underway to further investigations at the mechanism level. we are further going to collaborate in future also. So the CEFIPRA platform, in majority of our bilateral programs, which always collaborate with a piece of a data which what we have observed, and then try to communicate with them, and they do invest money in their own lab and do that. However, CEFIPRA is the only program which brought us both scientifically and financially together, support each other, by which we don't have any pressure of spending the money on a given problem. So in addition to this scientific enhancement in performing the different experiments at both the places in a collaborative way, not only the exchange program of the visits by the French laboratory to my laboratory and my laboratory to their laboratory will much more strengthen our knowledge in the field of cell biology, which gives much more value in terms of collaboration to not from the proposed project, and also an additional way of thinking about it. So like that, in our project, Graça visited 2 or 3 times. It helps us, not only my students, which are not part of our collaboration of the CEFIPRA, even though it strengthens the projects which they are doing it. In addition to that, Graça also helps in a department in terms of her view onto the student career and women in science. These are the 2 programs she usually conduct when she comes to India. When we visited her lab, most of our experiments we perform and gain of knowledge from their laboratory was especially the advances in the electron microscopy, which is a art in a cell biology in science, where it learns by only your experience. It's not learned by the stuff. And then with the help of Graça, my laboratory produced large amount of data which is supported to the basic experiment what we do in my laboratory. That's a better advantages. Moreover, that certain students which are trained in our Indian laboratories, which are easily absorbed to the French laboratories in a mutual exchange manner. Like that, CEFIPRA helped us quite communicative way that one of my master students was transferred to their PhD program and able to finish this as a bilateral collaboration. So the CEFIPRA is not only a supportive of the science, but also exchange of the programs in terms of the work skills, plus the workforce which we have that, and then also present their visits to our campus, strengthen the scientific environment in terms of nurturing the students in the career path.
Long live India and France friendship.